Here in Monaghan town with Master Deery, and we're outside Master Deery's pub here.
And the Junction nightclub, which is on the lower end of McCahey's bar there, the small little pub with the brown front. Master Deery's extends to approximately 8,000 square feet. The Junction building extends to somewhere in the region of 25,000 square feet. So folks, we're just making our way now into the property, having travelled from Dublin.
Maybe before we go in, Fergal, you might just give people a little bit of background as to how your battle started here. What exactly happened?
Well, basically, now with all the facts on the table, and the fact that we've been through the entire system, the AIB had, like many other businesses, been trying to shut us down after the boom in 2008, but because of innovative business decisions and new ways of looking at stuff, we got our business up and flying in 2010 when the country was on its knees, somewhere in the region of 2 million. So because we then became a target of the system, because we were the young team in town without the dirty, corrupt connections, so they needed us out of the way for competitors to thrive in the same industry. And those competitors have also had all their debts written off, which is absolutely disgusting from a people's perspective. This corruption has to stop, So we'll make our way into the properties here now. So folks, now we're just moving into the front bar area here. Many a good soul has passed through these doors on a Saturday evening from this time on. From 2002 until their illegal eviction on the 13th of May 2013. So, but luckily, folks, because of I was very lucky in the sense that I was able to withstand all the pressures thrown at me. I was able to break everything down into small pieces and not get lost in the maze of corruption.
So just tell people, how did the eviction come about? You said the unlawful eviction. What do you mean? Tell us what happened.
Well, basically, on 5 o'clock on the 13th, on 10 o'clock on the 13th of May 2013, we had been negotiating with AIB. There were 4 years of meetings, 4 years of letters, projections, business plans, and on one, basically there had been the Spy nightclub in the West Tower in the middle of Monaghan town, had opened a new nightclub, and to counteract that, I had come up with a smart Summer Madness campaign, which left, I had these posters from Market Street the whole way down to the centre of the town. So within a few weeks, we were already getting the older crowd were coming back to Deary's, because Deary's was also always known as 23 to 83, the place to be. So therefore, the older ones went down for a look in Spy. They didn't have the same facilities from a smoking perspective, so they were dead in the water from that perspective straight away. It was the outdoor spaces here that were way ahead of the competition. So basically, we on the 10 o'clock on the 13th of the 5th, 2013, one of the AIB personnel approached me in the next building, whilst myself and Brenton Keenan were actually we had taken all this stuff down from the middle of the town to put it up the following week, so the council couldn't the council couldn't take, you didn't want, if it was left there all day on a Monday, it'd be taken and put in a skip somewhere. So there might have been somewhere in the region of 30 pieces like that taken down. So one of the AIB personnel came in to myself and Brenton Keenan in the next building, the Junction building, handed me 7 envelopes, and they were receivership letters. Look at here, if I had known what I know now, I would have I would have, if I had known what I know now, I would. So then, I suppose just to go on to the next step, 5 o'clock that evening, 12 of Grant Thornton's finest pirates arrived on the ship, and we were asked, they handed me some paperwork. I didn't know really what I was looking at, so if I had known what I know now, I would have looked at the paperwork, and I'd have said, boys, this paperwork is for historic buildings, and it's not for the structures that are here, because AIB haven't fulfilled the sanction letters. Now, could you please leave, and I'm going to sue AIB for sending you down the road. That's what should have happened on the evening. But like many other people, I was not au fait with commercial law or criminal law, or I didn't know that much about accountancy. You had your professionals around you who a lot of people know now. They're just part of a system that tries to protect itself. So I suppose then that left that evening, myself and my brothers, we walked out of the properties, and I had the good sense at the time not to challenge the system straight away, because I'd watched Sean Quinn get turned over. I'd watched another man in Carton Cross, Clare Valley Stores, get turned over, and I knew of other cases that they would make up all the shite of the day, excuse my language, and just to break you down following a hit like that there. It's a very, very I was lucky, had the life miles behind me to be able to calm the head within 24 hours and take a long-term view of it. But I didn't know it would take the guts of 9 years at the time.
So in terms of loans you had at the time, was there any default on loans, or was there anything like this?
Our situation.
So in terms of loans you had at the time, was there any default on loans, or was there anything like this?
No, basically AIB in 2000, I had 2 shareholders here. I got rid of the shareholders in 2006. I took over the entire operation. We created a company called Deery Asset Holdings. There were 4 subsidiary companies: Roman Tiki, Dunmill, Red Stripe and Hollinggarth. And AIB had promised us $2.5 million to do the works on the junction. They only fulfilled 1.9, only gave us 1.9 of that monies before the crash, and they didn't fulfill the sanction letters. So no, we weren't in default. We weren't even signed up to a contract, because they hadn't fulfilled their obligations. So we were not in default in any way to any bank. But it doesn't matter. If they want you out of the way, they will use all tools necessary to get you out of the way. So,
do you want to show us around?
No problem. Now, so folks, this is the main bar, and I'd like to just mention that all the furniture here, if anyone from Dublin is will be watching this, if they go into the Long Mile Inn, they'll see the stool. Well, it's not the Long Mile Inn anymore. I don't know what the name. I can't remember what the name of it is. There's stools, there's tables, there's all the bar stools. They've been taken out of here, stolen, and removed to the Long Mile Inn by Seamus McEnany and Kieran Marr. Now, this would be one of the bar stools. So, if you're in the Long Mile, folks, you're sitting on one of Master Deery stools. I suppose I'll also introduce, firstly, we have Adriano McManus's depiction of the Last Supper, and then we have 2 fine gentlemen here, the one and only Harry Price from the Hill of the Grange in Kildare, and Paddy McAvoy, who many around the Dublin area will know is from the Tala area of Dublin. And we've travelled down here today because, look at folks, this for me was never about just this building. It was not about a building. It wasn't. It was about how long here. How can these people be allowed to continue this through and rape and pillage small businesses, destroy homes, destroy families? It has to stop. We now want to see people, the strong people, pull together. We don't want keyboard warriors You can fight away and play games all you want. We want to see the strong people start to stand up together. And anyone is quite welcome to. They'll get Harry Price on Facebook. They'll get Paddy McAvoy on Facebook. They'll get myself, Fergal Leary, on Facebook. So we want to see whoever. We don't want cowards. We want real people now, because we've identified a number of ships from Donegal to Wexford that could be taken and used as bases to create a movement and give people somewhere to meet that's outside the control of the system. So there's another one of Adriano's works. So we move on down the bar. Now, and gentlemen, do you want to come with us and you can ask a few questions and make a few comments? As I say, all the tables and chairs have been illegally removed to the Long Meadow Inn. No. So, firstly, we'll go up to the restaurant, I suppose. So folks, now we'll come into the kitchen. I'll just switch on these lights. Now, here we have, folks, many people from all parts of the country and further afield have enjoyed many a night of good food up here. That would have been the starters and dessert area. Then we have there has been a fridge removed. There's been fryers, 140 BTU fryers removed. There's been a Rationale oven removed. All this stuff stolen, folks. When you're up against the system, guards don't want to know. So also there's been more fridges and stuff removed, plus all the crockery, tables again out of the restaurant. We just go out into the main floor of the restaurant a little bit here. I'll show you the tidy part of it. Now, so basically all the tables here have been removed as well. Now this art has been key in this war because it has remained in the building now from 2019, and they couldn't touch the art because if they touched it, it was stolen. The art is, as people know, art is in the eye of the person who likes it. Some people like different types of art, don't like different types of art. Some of the pictures here to people would be worth nothing, whereas other pictures could be. There's a couple of pictures here could be worth 5 figures at this stage, because now of the history, plus the quality of the artist himself, Adriano McManus, whom has been very good too, because he's come in over the course of the war. Whenever we were on the ship, Adriano was here to chat with various people from different parts of the country. So that's giving you a bit of a spiel like this. Like, people will remember this place as we used to do somewhere in the region of 800 to 1,000 covers per week. And we didn't open to 4 o'clock in the evening. It was all evening time food, evening time ambience, and just repeat business. So we'll move on ahead. So there's one thing here, folks, I'd just like to point out now. So basically, the evening the receivers busted in here, they broke down that door, and they removed somewhere in the region of 10 or 15,000 in cash from that safe. Right, that's stolen money, based on the paper trail. But do you think the authorities want to take on to do anything about Grant Thornton? Not a chance. Now, so we make our way on down the stairs here. and many will fondly remember the Times Square concept that was here, and that's an actual remake of the front of McSorley's pub in Times Square, or just off Times Square in New York. How that came about was I got a man in America to send me over that picture. I took it to Universal Graphics and got a carpenter, and we recreated the front. People would have been taking photographs in front of it. There was those wedding photographs and that taken in front of it as well, you know. So let's move on down, folks. So, folks, another just 1 second there, folks. I'll see if I can get any more lights to go on. I thought that dance floor would light up there. There we are.
Hey.
Now, people will remember this people will remember this area at Christmas of 2012 as it was a ski bar for that Christmas. I had gone to the Alps, taken various photographs, and created an atmosphere that you thought you were standing on top of the Alps with various ski lifts. The DJ playing behind you there on the bar back. Myself and Patrick Robson actually went over to take those snaps. People will know Patrick, the architect. So again, all this stuff has been removed by Seamus McEnany and Kieran Marnes. Kieran Marnes owns a company called Activate. So, right, folks, we'll move on ahead. Have you any questions there? Anybody like to? He's okay.
How much money did you pump in to get this the way it is?
The 5 million.
And that was just taken from you.
It was just taken without, not in default, doing 2 million a year. We just weren't wanted in the little crook country that we live in.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Right. So folks, now we're going to leave the Master Deery building and make our way into the look at many people know the battle has gone on here now for 9 years, and you can see the remnants of a war zone is now what we're about to enter. Folks, if you think this ain't going to happen to you, God help you. You know, I shouldn't be here. I should be dead. Now, folks, we're going to make our way on into the Junction nightclub. Now, and many people will remember last summer when the Gardaí and the Bounty Boys broke in at 5 o'clock in the morning to pull me out of the buildings, even though I was residing here. This is some of the damage that was done on that particular instance. Okay, and again, this is what I had spent $2,000, and I was lifting the business back from Spy Nightclub with a smart marketing campaign. People had to come in here, get the picture taken, and be on social media with the picture so that they could enter the draw. Right, folks. Go on ahead. We'll just put the stool up there. No. Now, so people will remember this as the entrance to the nightclub. Again, the remnants of a war zone. You know. Okay. Then we'll just nip out here. This will bring back memories to people. Now, people will remember that top entrance there, coming down into the nightclub.
Fine entrance.
Sorry?
It's a fine entrance.
Oh, sure. You saw what was on plans to start with, then I pulled the plans apart and rebuilt. I would go to the architect and the designer, and they would put together a plan. Then I'd start to look at how best to use the space from a public perspective to get them the ergonomics, and plus then there's the ambience and the use of space and being able to double use some of the
Your life and your heart and your soul went into this.
Correct. Yep. As people will fondly remember the Junction nightclub. And look at the state of this, folks. This is yours. This is an angry little man called Seamus McEnany, and another one called Kieran Marr. What greed and soulless people they are, and the Monaghan GAA should be ashamed of themselves at this stage. It's not as if they don't know what's going on. They've been emailed contact 4, contact 5, and various other.
Why are you mentioning the GA?
Well, Seamus McEnany is currently the Monaghan GAA manager. He's also after getting 16 million for housing immigrants. He got 30 million written off, whatever, I don't know what figure, 30, 40, 50 million written off after the last boom. Look at the state of those mirrors. That's nothing but jealousy and greed. Unfortunately, that's putting it into my head.
As an elderly gentleman, during my studies of the law, I realised the maxim was, let justice be done even if the very heavens fall. I'm aware of this entirety from visual effect, from looking on the internet, and from using the grey matter in there. I am aware of the Irish system. They tried to destroy me by incarcerating me in a mental institution. 5 doctors, 3 psychiatrists certified me in the following terms that you can find on Facebook. He possesses an intellectual knowledge superior to that of normal people, with no suicidal ideations, violent propensities, and certainly no overt evidence of mental disease. Within 3 years, the plaintiff, the state solicitor, and the judge, karma had looked after them. They were dead. They were young. 41 years later, I meet the Minister for Justice ex, John O'Donoghue, at the races. We were having fun, because he's old and I'm old. Just like this interview and this building, we discussed, we talked, we listened, we wanted to learn. He told me I was done. Take a case against the state like Joanna Hayes did. I haven't much more to say. I'm disgusted with the way my country today operates. In that, a building in Dublin, in Blackhall Place, called the Incorporated Law Society, founded by King Henry, operates as a one-party system supposedly to give us justice. To finish, I say, it's little more than an operation to cover up. I say to the judges, the Gardaí, and those that took the oath to uphold the Irish Constitution, I'll say that again, the Irish Constitution, to uphold their duty to when they held up their hand and swore on the Bible, to do that, to come forward now and tell what they know. Many of them have spoken to me in private. I leave it at that, but I want justice done in this circumstances. Herein, let justice be done, even if the heavens fall or the government.
No. Thank you very much, Harry Price. Now, it was 1982 when they locked Harry up in Dundrum, and because of Harry's connections and having good people around him, he was out within 3 days. But these people will go to any length when they're up against the wall. You know, that's the way they work. You know, we're no longer allowed to be proud Irish people. We're just supposed to bend over and take whatever they want to give us, and it's not going to work for the children. Would you ever grow up? Like even this morning on social media, I had to pull a couple of people, or I'm, nothing but keyboard warriors, cowards. That's all they are. But look, there's good people out there. We are calling on them to come forward, make themselves known, so we can put a team together to start and take back other ships like this off the corrupt system. The blueprint here is there's a company set up in Northern Ireland, and other people can set up companies. I don't care. This is not about. But I saw the way a number of years back, and that's why they put me in jail 6 times, and they tried to beat me down as best they could. They tried to take our home. The judge wouldn't even sign the order on our home. The order wasn't stamped. They never came near our home. I was in the home from February 2019 on my own until December 2020, when Emma moved back in whenever they fired me into jail indefinitely. You know, that poor girl's throwing money over to an entity that they shouldn't be taking it, because the document they should be looking at is, Emma, where's this order of possession? Emma, that's not signed or stamped. It's no good. Are they telling Emma that? Not a chance. No, anyway, Emma's a good girl. That woman is, she's a credit to herself. She's done a magnificent job with the children, and she's now a force on her own. And I commend her for that, and always have and always will, irrespective of our personal differences currently. Now, back to this mess. So, folks, here's the deed of appointment for this particular building. Okay? There's page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4. Now, I'd like to draw your attention to these 3 lines. Property, Park Street, Monaghan, County Monaghan, and all those place, shop and yard. Folks, this is the deed of appointment for the building I knocked to build this 25,000 square foot building. AIB hadn't fulfilled sanction letters. Their paperwork is, there's no deeds, there's no proper paperwork for these properties. This was just a ruse that got out of control, and because I was dragged through the criminal system, they stupidly sent this to me by email via my court-appointed solicitor, whom also, Catherine Taff. I brought this to her attention at the time, and she fobbed it off. The case should have been thrown out on the basis of this document alone. Folks, these people, all they care about is playing golf, dinner parties, and breaking and robbing and do whatever they have to do to keep their system alive at this stage. So everything you see here that has been removed has been stolen. Seamus McEnany, Kieran Byrne, Frank McEnany, the whole lot of it, you know. Then if somebody else steals an apple out of the shop, you're pulled through the system. You know? The folks, I couldn't care less about this building. This was never about a building for me. This was a lot deeper than a building. You know, these people, like, look at the state of that there.
From what died, the sun, the road here.
Yeah, and people are going to commemorations here and commemorations there. Folks, you need to start worrying about the future. You know, stand on top.
And the children.
Your
Yeah, the
children's
children,
future.
your children's future, folks.
We let these fuckers in now
Yeah.
and doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's worse than
It's
1845.
Yeah.
They're just taking what they want.
See, look at here. It's
Small man gets a bullet.
Yeah. Folks. This was the smoking area for the Junction nightclub, and this was a key. The West Tanner didn't have a smoking area like this. Didn't have the space. They didn't develop a smoking area like this. Look at. That's why we were put on the street with 7 hours notice. So very quickly, I'll just give you a quick run through the empty spaces here. Well, folks, this would have been this was the upper end. This would have been the upper part of the nightclub. Had we been allowed to, if we lived in democracy, this would have been the upper end part of the nightclub. Now, this, folks, would have been. Well, the shortest bar concept could have gone. It was used in the West Town Arms Hotel in Monaghan. It opened 2 weeks after our eviction. Impossible. It takes at least 12 weeks to do such a fit out. Never mind the design time before that. Never mind, you know, all the intricate furniture and that has to be gathered up for something of that nature. So, and I'm mindful of time here, so we just take a quick scoot up the stairs. So folks, this is the next level in the junction. This would have been the stage and band area. Then this was for a music venue. It also had its own smoking areas. You know, everything was every place had its all self-contained. And this would have been the front entrance up to the music venue. And my plan was to go out to Nashville and actually create the streetscape of some of the Nashville town on the walls within this space. So leaving that all you need were small bands, and you could look after them well and only charge €7 or €8 in, and which we left it fair for people, you know. So folks, we are just going to briefly go to the top level. As you can see, we have plenty of pigeons in the junction at the moment, but look, that'll all change. That'll all change. So folks, this is the way. Again, Seamus McInerney, Kieran Martin seem to be able to do whatever they want to do. This is the state of myself and Emma's office. As you can see there, there's some of Emma's files, and that's what's left on my desk. Now, many a tough decision was made in that office. So folks, just to finish, this would have been This was to be a couple of offices, a green room for the music venue, and water storage and that up at the front of the front of the room there. So currently they've removed a lot of the Christmas decorations as well. Again, this stuff's all stone based on the paper trail. So look at folks, I would like to thank Harry Price, whom you'll find on Facebook, and Paddy McAvoy, whom you'll find on Facebook, for coming here today to make this short video in relation to this property, in relation to the system, folks. We need change. We need to create bases throughout the country so that people can have hope, you know. And we need to grow in energy. We need to grow a movement. We need the good people to come out of the woodwork now, not sitting being the keyboard warriors. We don't want them. They're no good. As it stands, it's good against evil, and there are too many people in the grey area in this little land of ours. So folks, I can do no more. I've done my 7 or 8 years of, I could disappear into the private sector now and never have to worry about a penny again, you know, but I don't want to do that. I want to see people stand up for themselves, because I want to see my children enjoy this ship in Monaghan, and other children see the mothers and fathers get back ships that have been stolen all over the country, whether it be homes or commercial businesses.